Yes, greetings, Jideh for Shieldrum Records. Today I will talk about MidiShaper from Cableguys. So first, a big thanks to Cableguys for sending me this plugin as it has been updated recently. So what is MidiShaper? MidiShaper is a tool where you can draw some LFO shapes and send them as MIDI CCs to external synth effects or VST synth and effects into your DAW. Okay, so you can download a demo on their website and to know exactly how it works and how you can route it depending on which DAW you have. Everything is in their manual here. Okay, so I will quickly present the interface and present several user cases, and then at the end I will tell you how I route them, as this is dependent on your DAW. This is not the most important. So how it works: MidiShaper only send MIDI CC. MIDI CCs stand for continuous control, and this is into the MIDI protocol to control every knobs and faders on external synth and VSTs. Okay, so the concept is that you can draw 10 different wave shapes in each preset. Okay, and you will draw those wave shapes with the tools on the screen. You can even set it full screen if you want. You can generate some randomization on it, etc, etc. And also, nonetheless, you have a lot of presets to get in quick. Okay, preset shapes. So those 10 shapes can be sent not at the same time, but we can select for each sources A, B, C, and D. We can select which waveform we will send. Okay. So from there, the sources are the LFOs, and we can also send some envelope. Okay, so the envelope on each source will be sent in each time a MIDI note is triggered. So in our case, what you see at the bottom of the screen is the pattern I'm sending to the external synth. So this envelope should be triggered 4 times into this pattern. Okay, so these are for the sources. As ever with Cableguys tools, it's durable waveforms, and we can sync them to the DAW or be free in pitch or hertz. Okay, we will stay sync for this demonstration. We have 4 sources, and we have 6 destinations for MIDI CCs, and we can also send PitchBend messages, modulation wheel messages, and aftertouch. Okay, so as I was saying, each sources can select one of the 10 waveform, or even noise if we want. Waveform from which we draw here. Okay, so what you are listening now is just the sub oscillator from the synth called monostation, and the particularity of this synth, it is monophonic, and even if it has 6 oscillator or 5 sonic source and audio input, all this can be triggered just by one envelope. Okay, so I will use here in this case MidiShaper to trigger each oscillator independently. Okay, everything is on off for the moment. I have drawn a wave shape with everything down. Okay, if I bring this up, all the destination will get this message. Okay, so let's leave it like that for now. So to find for your synth the MIDI CCs and what they correspond, you have to check the MIDI chart of your synth. So for the circuit monostation, it was not into the user manual, but if you type the name of your synth plus MIDI chart on the web, you will find the MIDI chart of your synth. Okay, so here, as I can't control, I don't have several envelopes to control the different oscillators. I have not the numbers, the CC numbers. This is the column of the CC numbers here, control number, okay? And we will focus on 20, 21, 22, 23, etc. I have also not the MIDI CCs for the frequency and the resonance of the filter. Okay, so this is where I find to which MIDI CCs, to which number I have to send them. So here in my case, it's simple. You will see on this synth there's 6 mini knobs, and these are the 6 sound source. I show you quickly. Okay, so let's send the wave to the source number 1. So I choose this wave 7, and as you see on the screen, that little pink dot, so I'm controlling only this oscillator with the source 1. Okay, if I set it back to 1, we have nothing. Okay, so let's put it back to 7. The second source is on the second oscillator, which is the green light you will see. Here it is a noise oscillator. And on the last, this is the ring mode source oscillator. So this is a ring modulation between the first oscillator, the pink one, and the green one. I will just focus on the last one. As I was saying, we can change the synchronization of this. So for you to understand more, I will display this wave 8. Okay, this is what it's sending to that ring modulator. So I was pretty surprised by the solidity of the connection even at high rates. So I shut it down with my wave 1. So I recommend to draw a wave at the bottom for all the parameters. That way, if you want to shut down a control, you just have to select, for example, wave 1, and it will send 0 and switch off everything. So when you want to reset your pitch bend, you will have to draw a line in the middle as pitch bend has a negative and positive value. We will switch back the noise oscillator with the waves tree. And I could also send another waveform. Wave 4. Wave 5. Okay, you get the idea. So for the moment, it is just at 1 bar. Then just the second oscillator. Quite simple. I can change also the waveform. to describe also the destination here. This synth has no pitch bend and no modulation wheel. It got aftertouch, I guess, but I didn't program any aftertouch message. And then we have 20, it's a level oscillator 1, oscillator 2, 23 is the noise oscillator, 24 is a ring, and I still have the 22 here for the sub oscillator. For example, if I want the sub oscillator to do exactly the same as the source B, I just go to source B, my base oscillator, and I bring it to 100. I didn't talk about that, but at the bottom you have center. So center will define where is the middle of your modulation, because you can modulate in positive or negative. You can move your center up or down from where it is originally. And I will switch back everyone on the wave I wanted them to play. So for this one, this is the third wave and the eighth wave. So let's send all this together. Now there's also the envelope generator here, so we will focus on the source D. Let's switch on the envelope generator, just the LFO first. And now I add the envelope generator. As you can hear, it takes 2 and 27 seconds opening or closing the sound. I can send also the sub oscillator here to see all this in unison. I will leave it like that for the moment because I want to test the cutoff filter of this synth and see how it reacts with the envelope. So my cutoff MIDI number is 16. So here the envelope is really obvious. Okay, and we can add our LFO on it too. So this makes a double modulation of all that. And as you can hear, as there is two sources and this wave 8 source is lowering down the opening of my filter, and this is when I will use this center parameter and bring it up. That way I can have the same shape but with more high frequency in my signal. Okay, so that was the user case with external synth. Let me show you quickly the routing of all that. I created two MIDI tracks, so the track Shaper 1 and the track Synth are MIDI tracks. On the first MIDI track, I drop MidiShaper, and on the second MIDI track, I set my synth. In my case, it's an external instrument going to the output physical sound card to the channel 3, as my synth is on channel 3, and I get back the audio from that synth here. That track, which contains my external instrument and receiving the audio signal of my analog synth, is set to in, okay, monitor in. That way it can receive the messages from the first MIDI track called Shaper 1. For this to work, you will have the last thing to do, select here this track, so the track Shaper 1, and on the second box you will choose MidiShaper. This will appear as you drop a MidiShaper on this first MIDI track. So this is why this is good to first MIDI track 1, drop the MidiShaper, then MIDI track 2, set your instrument, virtual instrument or real instrument, then select the input Shaper 1 and MidiShaper in that box and set it to monitor in. And the Synth channel will receive everything, the MIDI notes and also all the MIDI messages in direction to the CCs. So this is how this one is set up. So now we will go into the second user case. Here, same way, I build a pair of tracks, of MIDI tracks. On the first one, I drop that MidiShaper, and on the second one, there's a SERUM. That first channel will contain also the MIDI pattern, and all this is sent onto the second MIDI channel via the input, selecting the source channel. So here is Shaper 2, and in the second box, selecting the MidiShaper contained on that Shaper 2 channel. So with no modulation, so what I did first, I started to work with the PitchBend. So that's why my reset waveform for the LFO A is right in the middle. If I move that line, we can also experiment some of the presets. I find it interesting to set some rhythmical wave shape. For example, then the second source is sent to the modulation wheel. It's easy in Ableton to assign the modulation wheel to any parameter via this little cross. Okay, and it's already linked to that reverb size. The wave shape 3. For the third destination, I use MIDI Learn function from SERUM and assign the number 127 to this knob. And this knob is controlling some over limiter. So now I will explain how I MIDI assign. So right click and then MIDI Learn only that knob. So how you will MIDI Learn this? First you have to switch off every source That way, the MidiShaper is sending nothing to the synth. Secondary, you will choose a MIDI CC to be sent to the SERUM. Let's choose 126. I will engage the Teach. And now the MidiShaper in the background is sending MIDI CC 126. So let's say I want to assign this to this timbre. So I click on it, right click MIDI Learn, and that's okay. You already see it move. It is assigned to that number. And when you right click on SERUM, it will tell you to which CC it is linked. From now, I know 126 is linked to that knob. I can switch off the Teach and go right into my modulation. So we will erase that one, remove the MIDI CC from here, and from here we will choose another parameter which can be modulated. Nothing interesting here. Okay, this one is quite obvious. So we'll take the saturation. Okay, same way as it is erased, I can teach it again, 126. Right click on that one, MIDI Learn, and boom, that's done. In our case, we don't hear distortion at the first part of that loop because we are modulating in negative. If I modulate in positive, this will be the opposite. And perhaps we can draw quickly something. Let's be very simple.